Oh, my people, how we doing? It's been a little bit. I think it's been like 10 days since I've done a YouTube video, but talk about perfect timing right now. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you've probably, and for those of you that have seen my stories, you've probably seen me pretty regularly now for probably, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, maybe it's been a little longer. And I hope these cars going by don't drown out my voice, but for probably 2 or 3 weeks now, I've been sharing posts, pictures, videos, and I've been quoting this exact quote. Nah, bro, not my girl. She's different. You don't know her. She's not like these girls today. Right? I've shared videos, different instances of women breaking up, divorcing, cheating, lying, the usual that we see today. And I've been typing that out. I've also gone on rants. I've gone on some pretty long rants. And in these rants, I've clarified a lot. I've clarified my personal experience with my girl or my ex-girl. I've clarified that what was fueling me or causing me to pretty regularly post those posts and say the same thing. Nah, bro, not my girl. She's different. You don't know her. It wasn't fueled by like a personal issue or situation with my girlfriend at the time. And I did my best to clarify that, right? Because I didn't want anybody to see those stories and assume, oh, this guy's going through it with his girlfriend, so he's a little salty or something. No. Granted, you might not believe me. How do I put this? But I had signs that my girl was at some point going to break up with me soon, which she did today around, I think, 11 o'clock or something like that. And the reason I've had signs is because we've had a rocky relationship in a sense. And I want to preface this. If a woman breaks up with you, 99.9% of the time, you don't go back to her and take her seriously again in terms of like being, in a relationship or, planning a future with her. 99.9% of the time, right? If you go back to a girl, if anything, you just, use her for, extracurricular activities or benefits, if you get what I'm saying, right? The majority of the time. Now, for me and this girl, I love her. She's a great girl. She's a sweetheart. Like I said, she broke up with me earlier today. I wish her the best. She really couldn't harm a fly. But we've had the definition of an exceptional relationship in terms of the circumstances. Some things I didn't handle well myself. Some things I definitely should have handled better. However, we broke up mainly because of her. 5 or 6 times now, right? So that's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. And for someone like me that brags about how red-pilled I am and how well I know these women and female nature and how I know them better than they know themselves, some of you might hear this and be like, dude, why would you take her back that many times? It's going to be hard for me to really explain, right? But it was an exceptional circumstance. She's been pressured by her friends and family that have, pretty much hated me since day one. One of her best friends is in the LGBTQ community. I'm, way against that. She's been pressured from that. One of her friends is stereotypical 304, like a hardcore 304, who despises me because of, how I carry myself like a normal man should. So she's been pressured from that. I'm going to be brief with that. I don't want to explain too much, and I'm not going to talk bad about her whatsoever. I do want to say that I knew it was coming. And I knew it was coming so much so that I literally had notes because I was able to predict, according to what she was doing, how she was acting, things she was saying. And I wanted to prove to myself, that I can predict these things. I wanted to prove how well my pattern recognition is. I wanted to prove how well my red pill lenses are. And I was right? I was right. My prediction of when she was going to do it was off. I believe I had in my notes, one was April 6th. I thought she was going to do it April 6th. I forget, there was 2 dates I put down, but I knew it was inevitable. I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. And today was a little more out of left field than usual, because we had plans to like go on this trip to Wisconsin and stuff. But man, it's perfect timing for me to make another YouTube video, and it's perfect timing in terms of what I've been ranting about. I'm gonna get off the street, man. I really, really, really hope my microphone isn't getting destroyed by this wind in these cars. Perfect timing in terms of me talking about these women, bro, and how none of them are different. They might have different traits and qualities and characteristics, and I want to preface this specifically. My girl definitely has very, very awesome traits, qualities, and characteristics that I would want in a wife or the mother of my children. And that was another thing, you know what I mean? Like, we planned to have kids and all that, and I'm on TRT, so I would have to get on a medication called HCG, which I purposely didn't get on because I just knew this was, somewhat inevitable, right? So, like, I'm saying all this because I just want to prove how my mind works in terms of predicting these things and knowing these things, because I take pride in being able to practice what I preach. And especially with my YouTube channel, I want to exemplify that to young men specifically that follow me, or that may follow me, that may see this. Knowing women, bro, today, like, it's so critical being red-pilled. Shout out to Myron Gaines. Shout out to Andrew Tate. Shout out to Bitches Ain't Shit on Instagram. I'm definitely leaving some out, but, like, dude, it is so critical. It's so critical to learn female nature today, because God forbid I had a child with this girl. God forbid we were married. You know what I mean? And I don't think, she's really, really, really a sweetheart. I don't think she'd ever do anything to, like, ruin me or hurt me to an extent. But, like, this just goes to show what I ranted about. Like, bro, yesterday she ran by me and my nanny, who I love more than anything. My nanny said that she loved her. She said, "I love you too." Gave me a kiss. You know what I mean? Like, not even a week or so ago. Again, I'm prefacing this to explain to you how women act according to their feelings. I should have started this video out by saying you never, ever, ever, ever trust a woman's words. Always trust her actions, right? I don't care how much she says she loves you. I don't care how much she words things and writes you love letters, whatever it might be. You never trust that shit. It's all awesome. You can appreciate it. Like, I've saved love notes for my girl, and I've genuinely appreciated that. But I never, ever took it to heart. What I took to heart would be when she would cook for me. She would bring me food to my work. When, like, you always trust her actions, right? And that's, honestly, it's not just a woman thing. Actions speak louder than words, right? But, not even a week or so ago, she mentioned our past experiences together and how she had people trying to influence her to break us up. And she said that she'll never let someone influence her again, and how she's so glad we worked through it and all that. And I was like, wow, that's great of her to say, so on and so forth. But I didn't take it seriously. Right? Now, the 25-year-old version of me, the younger version of me, the blue-pilled simp version of me, would have taken that seriously. And, let's say hypothetically, that version of me gets broken up with, and I start talking to her in a sense of, but you said this, and but you said that. Like, this version of me realizes now, and this is what I want men to learn. Man, I really hope this wind isn't ruining my entire video right now. This is what I want men to learn. You can never, ever take their words seriously, bro. Ever. Doesn't matter what she said. Doesn't matter how she said it. It doesn't matter if she wrote it down. She might mean it, right? She might, when she says she loves you, she might mean it, right? But her actions are more important. If she loves you, she's not going to break up with you, bro, right? She might genuinely love you, but, like, if she truly loves you, she ain't going to break up with you. Women are willing to, like, go to extreme lengths to be with the man they love. And that's where I want to explain how at one point in time, I didn't do it on purpose, but this girl kind of I'm going to go this way. This wind is fucking driving me nuts. This girl kind of became my side chick to an extent. And I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't necessarily do it on purpose. I was with another woman who, we didn't have a serious relationship per se. We shared a dog together. And I considered that dog my son. And this wind is still here. I might actually have to do this video inside. I considered that dog like a son to me. Me and this girl did not have a serious relationship per se at all. This girl came along, and, for the most part, even till this day, there was a lot of green flags from this girl. She hasn't been with a lot of men. She was very submissive. I knew I can mold her and coach her into being a woman that if I wanted to have a future with, which I did plan at one point in time, I knew that was possible, right? So that immediately, before I even had any sort of sexual relationship with her, I was immediately hesitant because, I didn't want any of this to happen per se. But, sadly, it happened. But the reason I bring that up is because I've been able to make note of her behavior when she was I don't want to call her my side chick, right? Because I didn't really mean to treat her as such. However, it came off that way. And I want to make note of that behavior because when we were on those terms per se, I can tell how much more she wanted me. And that just goes to prove that women want a man other women want and other men want to be, right? This is why married men will talk about their side chick being better than their wife. This is just female nature, bro, right? I know not all of you that are going to possibly see this on YouTube are going to necessarily agree with me. But, at some point you're going to have to learn the hard way. This is just female nature, dude. This is just how they are. And this is precisely why I've been regularly posting on my story, nah, bro, not my girl. My girl's different. Because that's just sadly how some men, that's the impression that some men are under, that they've somehow found this gem that isn't like the modern stereotypical woman today. And just like men for the most part, these women aren't different, bro. They're not different. There's a hardwired, inherent evolutionary biology and psychology instilled in us. And you can't really escape that, right? You cannot escape that. This is just how they are. And this is, like I said, just literally the best possible example that I can even give you, bro. You can't even make it up. You can't even make it up. For, I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks now. 2 or 3 weeks now on my Instagram stories, I've been ranting about how men are under the impression their woman is different. And then they're just fucking blindsided. Slapped in the face with divorce papers. Slapped in the face by walking in on their girl cheating. And it's just, bro, it's a very, very common thing. And it's important for you to be red-pilled and know these women in order to handle it right. Because if you're a blue-pilled simp, bro, heartbreak hurts. And if you don't handle it right, you're missing out on a very big opportunity for growth. And that's exactly what this situation is for me, because, sadly for women, they don't realize in the long run, their value is just slowly but surely going down. Every day, every minute, every second, their value is slowly but surely going down. And they don't realize that their best bet is to stay with the man that they've really built a life with. That is literally their best bet, because anything after that, even if they temporarily think the next man is an upgrade, he's never an upgrade. He's never an upgrade. But this is the thing with women. They're able to sell themselves a dream or get sold a dream by another man and think that they can live happily ever after and think that they can have a better life. But they just all inevitably hit what is called the wall, where, they're 35, whether they're married or with kids, it don't matter. At some point in time, they realize that their value is completely gone. And when you're a woman that jumps from relationship to relationship and you've had sex with 5 or more men, you're destroying your ability to pair bond by over 80%. This has been proven. Like, there's literally studies on this. And it's much different for men. Like, we literally get better as time goes on, as long as we carry ourselves right and handle ourselves right. These women don't, right? Like, it's gonna sound kind of crazy to say, but like, if I knew what me and an ex-girlfriend have done behind closed doors before I meet that girl, I'm not gonna want to date that girl. Like, hypothetically, if I'm another dude and I see this girl at the gym and I'm thinking to myself, wow, she seems like a possible solid, girl to take on a date or see where things can go. But some way, somehow, I learn what she's done with an ex-boyfriend behind closed doors. Bro, I'm not going to want that girl. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be certain things that they did sexually that's like, I can't. Like, what? That's, my baby's going to come out of that? My baby's going to come out of that? No, bro. No. And these women, they don't realize that. They don't realize that. They have no idea that they're just going to be used goods to the next man, and subconsciously they're going to see that man as a sucker, right? Like, sooner or later they're going to see that man as a sucker because they know what they've done with men in the past. They know how they've treated another man in the past, right? And they think they can hide it and they think they can escape their past, but this is precisely why a man is concerned with a woman's past and a woman is concerned with a man's future. And that's just how it's been. It's how it will literally always be, bro. This is why women are ashamed to admit their body count. This is why women are ashamed to admit what they've done with certain men in the past to a current boyfriend or husband. Like, this is, you can't escape this shit, bro. You cannot escape this shit. And this is precisely why I talk about this all the time on my Instagram. And this is precisely why I'm talking about it now. I also want to exemplify to any men that see this or men that see it in the future, because I got like 78 subscribers. I know not many people are going to see this, but I want to exemplify how you handle a breakup, because I genuinely love this girl, right? I genuinely love her. If things were different, if certain things haven't already happened, I would have loved to have had a baby with her and form a future with her. But we clearly broke up today. I'm not saying it's not going to hurt, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to act like I'm immune or anything, but like, I'm not worried. I'm not necessarily in pain. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know how to handle this shit. I know I'm going to get another girl. I know who I am. I know how to carry myself. And I also know that if I use this right, this is the best possible way to grow into a man of better value. Like, this shit is the best fuel for us that we can possibly ever ask for, gentlemen. Truly, like, wholeheartedly. Pain, suffering, heartbreak, loss. Dude, I just shared a video the other day on my Instagram of Andrew Tate talking about how important it is to have your heart broken, to have a girl cheat on you, to have a girl leave you, to have a best friend betray you, whatever it might be. Like, pain, sadly, right? But pain is our fucking fuel, dude. So, sure, it might hurt. Sure, it might suck. But if you use it right as a man, you grow. And, women, they're different. They're different. So, hopefully, the wind hasn't destroyed my microphone on this video, because I'm 19 minutes in already. And the max I normally do is around 20 minutes. So, listen, whoever sees this, I love yous. Please, please, please. I normally don't beg for likes and subs, but please like and subscribe, comment. The algorithm hates men like me, and I'm going to grow this channel into something respectable. So, listen, until next time, I love yous. Take it easy. Man up. Get your testosterone up. I'm out.